Anytime the title of a movie is hand-drawn, it's destined to be bad. Somewhere on a tropical island, two tribes exist. The Wango tribe, who are comprised of beautiful women and ugly men, and on the other side of the island is the Guna tribe, which is the opposite. Handsome men and ugly women.
But they're men. Well, that's what we came here for, wasn't it?
And when that old tricky bastard called love gets involved, the story really takes off.
Angor, you spoke the truth about these women of Wango.
This one's mine. He's cute.
The incredible acting in the film, coupled with the uncanny realism of jungle life, makes The Wild Women of Wango the 25th worst film ever made.
Shut up!
Okay, banga banga.
Since when do you talk a native language?
I just started today.
Well, what'd he say?
What'd he say? I don't even know what I said.
Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn gorilla is a B-movie all around with a debatable all-star cast.
Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo turn an island paradise into the zaniest madhouse in the seven seas.
That is, if you consider the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis ripoff duo of Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo stars, plus a washed-up Bela Lugosi playing none other than a mad scientist.
Run for your life! Go on, get out of here. Run for your life. Hey, what am I, dumb or something?
One half of this deservedly unfamous duo of Duke and Sammy was actually sued by Jerry Lewis for copying his, well, his everything. But the lawsuit didn't prevent this flop from being filmed for just under $50,000 on a 9-day shoot. And yes, it's another film with a gorilla in it.
Enjoying the last of the sun, eh?
Oh, doctor! Sit down.
Boris Karloff's contract with Universal Pictures ran out in 1939. Apparently, so did his status as the master of horror, because in 1940, he made The Ape with Monogram Pictures.
She'd have been just 18 today. She was to have worn that. I couldn't save her, and I couldn't save her mother. I hadn't the weapons to fight the disease that killed them, but I have now.
Karloff plays Dr. Adrian, a scientist mad with passion towards curing polio. All the while perusing the town at night in the skin of an escaped circus ape that he killed. A tricky plot, indeed.
The dog.
And Karloff always has his famous dying scene.
There. You see?
As did this film. The science fiction craze, which swept across theater screens in the late 1970s, also brought with it many cheap B-grade duplicates in its wake. Cheap duplicates like Galaxy of Terror from 1981.
Hell has just been relocated. It orbits a burned-out star at the edge of the galaxy.
They're out there.
Galaxy of Terror has all the qualities of a terrible film, including its star, Erin Moran, who you may remember as Joni from Happy Days.
What are the odds of us getting out of here?
And the film even tried to titillate audiences by introducing the first worm-like alien that makes sweet, sweet love to human women. In all of its awfulness, Galaxy of Terror does have one redeeming factor to it. Its unit director was a young James Cameron, who would go on to direct Terminator and Titanic many years later. But what he was most known for in this film was making maggots wiggle on a severed arm by electrocuting them. What do you do when you want to steal an Aztec treasure from a tomb haunted by a mummy? You build a robot to do it for you.
We dare you to see them, but don't come alone.
From 1957, The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
There's no fairy tale quite so inspiring as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, unless you're referring to the German-made movie Snow White, or as they call it, Schneewittchen.
Please won't you dance with me? I will sing you songs that rhyme.
And dig these crazy dwarf names.
I am Whitey, and the next one is Bushy.
I'm called Eddie, and I'm called Teddy, and this one is Freddie. My name is Blackie, and I am called Bim Bam.
The story seems to be the same. You have the Wicked Witch and the apple.
Very well. Then I'll cut the apple in two. The red half is for you.
But this Snow White is just way too bizarre not to make the 50 worst list. After the revolution in Cuba, American gangsters plot with Cuban generals an ingenious scheme to smuggle gold out of the country via a tour boat.
How much Jack do you think's in that strong rock?
There's plenty of Cuban sugar, though.
But when a secret agent named Sparks Moran penetrates their plan...
Don't worry, Mary Bell. I'll save you.
...and a horrifying sea monster stands in their path, B-grade chills and sugar-free thrills are sure to arise from Roger Corman's Creature from the Haunted Sea.
It's all right. Be calm, everybody. The boat's insured.
I ought to call my name on that tit, then see what he got to say.
Speaking of Roger Corman, after being fired by him, director Jack Hill branched out and formed his own brand of cheap cinema. The result was the swinging Cheerleaders.
It's men's business, Marianne.
Bullshit.
A 1974 film that was difficult to label, it was the story of a female reporter who joined a college cheerleading team in order to expose its demeaning nature, but learned a lesson in assumptions instead.
It's girls like you give the boys something they think is worth fighting for.
Gosh, that just makes me tingle all over when you talk like that.
Ron, come on. Let's do it some more. I want to do it every way there is. This is my first time. I want it to be wonderful.
Somebody one time told me that if there's absolutely no way that you can get out of taking a terrible beating, the only intelligent thing for you to do is to try to get in the first lick.
In 1967, Born Losers introduced the world to a new denim-clad hero, Billy Jack. 4 years later, Billy Jack its sequel hit the screens to an adoring fan base.
Pick it up.
But the third in the series, The Trial of Billy Jack, was just a bit too much for audiences in 1974.
What Gina's really taught us here and in the Child Abuse Center is that everyone has inside of them a fantastic force, and it can really change people once it's unleashed.
Is this what you call nonviolence?
We call it by something much cornier than that.
We call it love.
Coming in at nearly 3 hours, most of which is spent communing at the hippie commune, Billy Jack returns from a stint in prison to find a new batch of villains bothering his Native American friends, not to mention stirring up trouble at the Freedom School, disrupting beautiful ballads like this one heard here.
Don't turn back, Billy Jack. I am crying, are you dying just for me?
You might almost prefer watching Billy Jack to the wooden acting of Peter Graves in 1954's Killers from Space.
They're here, they're going to destroy us.
It's all right, Dr. Martin. You're with friends. You'll be all right.
They'll kill everyone. We've got to stop them!
Easy, Doug, easy.
Who are you?
Another from the Martian Invaders Nobody Believes the Scientist genre, only there are no gorilla aliens. Only Martians with big eyes.
Stay where you are.
And lizards, made to look like giant dinosaurs.
Back or I'll kill him.
And of course, Peter Graves' own brand of 7th grade acting.